This isn't my story, but it's my grandmother's. My grandma Nancy used to work in an auto shop in northern Illinois. One day after work, everyone announced that there was a maniac on the loose who stabbed someone, so the workers were not allowed to leave unless they were escorted to their car. A few days after they announced there was a maniac on the loose in town, my grandma was at a tavern with her husband. Since her husband was an asshole when he was drunk, she didn't want to deal with him. She left after a while, and since her husband had the car keys, she decided to walk because it was a nice fall night. The path that she normally took was a shortcut through the woods, so there was no light sources besides the moonlight. Tonight was a little cloudy, so it made it difficult to see. She began walking through the woods, leaves crunching under her feet. It was very quiet. No owls, no crickets, no animals. Nothing but the sound of her feet on the soft, crunchy ground under her. When suddenly, she heard another set of feet behind her. She froze in panic when she realized there was someone behind her. The person sounded winded, as if they had just run a marathon. She decided she didn't want to look behind her, in case it triggered whoever was behind her to attack. She decided to continue walking. When she sped up, they sped up. When she slowed down, they slowed down. My grandma went through about 15 minutes of this scared out of her wits. She could feel their eyes on the back of her head. She knew they were following her on purpose. All she could do was think about the knife maniac. When she saw a streetlight up ahead, she flooded with relief. She booked it down 2 more blocks to her house, never looking back. When she got home, she was glad to see nobody chasing her. The next morning, there was a report of a woman who was stabbed with a hatchet while she was walking her dog. It was the same guy who had stabbed a man in the head a few days prior. And where did this happen? You guessed it, the same path my grandma walked down to get home last night. It's scary to think that she had a psychopath walking behind her, planning to do who knows what. It turns out, though, that both the man and the woman are alive and they recovered. But what if the man was going to use that hatchet on my grandma? There's a link included in the description to the news article covering this story. I had taken my family and a friend's family both out for fireworks on the 4th of July. We took a minivan since there were 8 people. At the end of the night, I decided to leave the other 7 behind and make the long walk back to the vehicle solo, then pick everyone up. It was a long day, and the kids were very tired, so I thought it was a good idea. With literally thousands of people milling around and being slow, I decided to cross the road, from the side with streetlights and a sidewalk, to the other side which was dark and on the edge of a wooded area. I could move much faster without all these people in front of me. Being the paranoid person I am, I was armed with a small .380 pistol in my front pocket and was briskly walking with my hands in my pockets. I knew the area, so was extra alert. I glanced across the road to see some teenage girls pointing in my direction saying, "Hey, what's going on over there?" among themselves. As I thought for half a second, I knew I wasn't alone. Turning my head back to the tree line, I see 4 men emerge from the brush. The only thing I thought was, okay, this is happening. Leader guy is taking 2 to the chest. And I tighten my grip on my pistol, placing my finger on the trigger preparing for a quick draw and shoot situation. The front guy says, "Where you think you're going, white boy?" And the other 3 chuckle lightly. Staying calm and focused, I said in a loud and firm voice, "Can I fucking help you boys?" while drawing my pistol. As my elbow made it to the halfway point in the draw, the leader guy noticed and froze. He waved his hands straight out, eyes bugging out, and said, Aight, taking 2 large steps back. He understood what was about to happen, and was trying to call off the attack. I kept walking forward, right at him, staring him in the eye. I was pissed that they thought they were going to jump me like that. The other 3 looked confused for a second, then one of them turned and ran with the rest following suit. As they ran off, I looked back to see one guy punch the other in the arm and say, "Dude, I think you almost got a shot." I've been through a lot, so when it comes down to it, I was just ready more than they were. 5 years later, I took my daughter to a 24-hour gas station for drinks in the same small town, and in walks one of these guys with a different crowd. There were 5 this time. We made eye contact for a brief moment, then he turned away. I told my daughter to give me a minute, but didn't tell her why. I stared him down the whole time he was in there. He whispered to another guy, and they kept looking at me and then looking away. He stopped for a second, and then looked away. I smiled real big and patted my pocket loudly. They walked out while my daughter and I were in line. I fully expected that they would be waiting outside, so I made sure my daughter was behind me as I exited. The whole group was disappearing quickly into the distance. I refuse to be a victim. My concealed carry weapon has never been used, but I feel much better having it. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. If you would like a chance to have your story featured in an upcoming video, make sure you check out the description for information on how to submit your stories. I really appreciate you watching the video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Well, everyone except for Tanner Wright. For some reason, he didn't want me to wish him a wonderful day. He wants to have a shitty day. So Tanner, I hope you have a shitty day, while everyone else has an absolutely amazing day and wins the lottery. Sorry, brother. That's what you wanted. You commented it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. And just remember, it's always scarier if it's true. I really appreciate those of you who have made it to the end of the video. It means a lot to me that you're so dedicated. And as a thank you, I wrote you a song. Here it is. Thank you, subscribers. It's a work in progress, but it's coming along nicely. I predict it'll only take me about 15 more years to actually finish the 30-second song I have in mind. So if you want to hear more, make sure you smash that like button. On a serious note, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I really do appreciate your support. I'll catch you guys in the next video, or over on Facebook, Twitter, or any of my other social media sites.